Hi all! Today I will tell you why Russia is so aggressive and how the West missed the opportunity to capture Russia by accepting it into its family. Let's go! 1991. The Red Empire collapsed under the weight of its own contradictions. The Iron Curtain fell and the entire socialistic bloc suffered a crushing defeat. What seemed impossible yesterday has become a new reality. The 70-year-old confrontation between socialist Russia and Western countries has come to an end. Communist ideas were anathematized, and one point of view became the only correct one. Someone has already announced the end of the history, but apparently he were in a hurry. History just made its circle. It would seem that in such a situation, when Russia abandoned all its ambitions and embarked on the path of a market economy and democratic politics, when Russia essentially recognized the West as a teacher, if not worse, what should the collective West have done? It would probably be logical to accept the prodigal son into your family. Moreover, this prodigal son did not come empty-handed. He has a lot of resources, workforce and a huge market. But the West is not homogeneous. What is beneficial for Europeans may not be beneficial for Americans. And he acted differently. And we know now what this led to. Russia is again the main antagonist, the main villain, which prevents the establishment of peace on Earth. But let's fantasize, and what if all sanctions were lifted from Russia in 1991? Many don't know that restrictions on the export of high-tech products to Russia continued until 1994. And in 1998, new sanctions began to be imposed on Russia, already scientific ones. What if Europe accepted Russia as a whole, such as it is? Would have accepted into NATO? Would have accepted into created European Union? You might think that this is a baseless fantasy, but at one time USSR asked to be accepted into NATO, and when Putin asked for the same in 2000s. Given the state in which Russia was in the 90s, ideologically, I have no doubt that the population of Russia supported such a step. A completely humiliated, bloodless country that looks at Western countries as the beacons of democracy, where people always work in good faith, do not drink and receive huge salaries, where every man has a truck and every woman has a hairdresser, and unicorns graze on the milk coasts, or something like that. In general, entering into an alliance with Europe would be perceived as a super victory. Joining the civilized world, Russia, among the civilized countries, is not a success. By opening its markets to Russia, Europe would help it to rise from its knees. Giving cheap loans for development would stimulate economic growth. The creation of joint ventures, joint research and development would lead to the closest link between Russia and Europe to create a positive dependency. And any president who would appear in Russia if he wanted to spoil relations with Europe would face an unprecedented decline in the economy and the standard of living of citizens. Besides, what ideological basis would he find for such step? If the West treated humiliated Russia with humanity as an equal partner, we could now have a single economic and possibly even political entity from Lisbon to Vladivostok. Union such power which was not in history, and there would be no confrontation and spending money on military spending. There would be no always wars and victims, but the West fought otherwise, Since Russia is weakened and humiliated, we must begin to mock her even more, humiliate even more. Take what you need and give nothing in return, buying up officials in pucks under the guise of grants. Afterward, buy up state-owned enterprises for next to nothing and export them abroad. Intervene in domestic politics as you wish. Our new best friends not only did not forgive us the debts of USSR, but helped us to collect new ones. Until 2004, Russia returned money for Lend-Lease deliveries in World War II. Furthermore, they supported the Chechen separatists when NATO destroyed Yugoslavia. When a wave of NATO expansion, despite all the promises, NATO has moved close to our borders, and there is already a real threat to the existence of Russia. When series of Orange Revolution in the post-Soviet countries with creation of puppet governments, Western instigated war in Georgia, the list can be long. The meaning of all this is that you can spit in the person's face, you can wipe your feet on him, but when you start to threaten his life, a response will immediately follow. And she came. The West created modern Russia with its own hands. This was not done by Putin or Yeltsin. That Russia is now is a natural response. We simply left Russia no choice. The fact that they did not bind us hand and foot economically when it was possible by accepting us into their family. They made us partially independent. Starting to threaten our lives, we made our politically independent. Having spit on all their promises and having robbed Russia, we made it their enemy. And now we wonder why Russia is so aggressive. Why doesn't she do what we want? Gentlemen's made us this way. This is not our choice. Our choice was on the course of repression with Europe, but we, apparently, as subhumans, were not called into a brighter future. Outcome. Peace could have come to the world long ago, but it is always not profitable for someone. The historical chance to create a united, free Europe was lost, if not forever, then for a very long time. The short-sightedness of politicians has led to the creation of new tensions and new war in Europe, and this is just a beginning. No conclusions have been drawn from what is happening, and hot heads are out for blood. The tension is only growing, and it looks like there will be more blood. Write your opinion in the comments, like, subscribe to the channel, and have a nice day!